Extroverted intuition, according to Jung, is the perception of data dependent on subliminal perceptions of the object, what's outside of themselves, and on the feelings and thoughts they evoke. It asks the question, what's possible? It is, in a nutshell, brainstorming, constantly seeing relationships, patterns, and connections between people, things, and events to produce new ideas and possibilities of what could be. It does this through trans-contextual and divergent thinking. Trans-contextual thinking is the ability to create connections in the mind between things or ideas that aren't typically associated with each other in a particular context. Divergent thinking uses trans-contextual thinking to generate creative ideas by exploring many possible solutions. It typically occurs in a spontaneous, free-flowing, non-linear manner, such that many ideas are generated in an emergent cognitive fashion. Many possible solutions are explored in a short amount of time, and unexpected connections are drawn. Speaking of tangents, extroverted thinking can sometimes go off on random topics that while speaking will manifest in the brain and take the conversation elsewhere. This is a result of that trans-contextual thinking where you are discussing one topic which leads you to think of another thought, feeling, idea, experience, object, pretty much anything you can think of, and takes the conversation in a completely off-topic and different direction. High NE users have quite the vivid imagination. Unfortunately for them, they are often criticized by those lacking in imagination and patience to get to the point of what they are saying, and they tend to be diagnosed with ADD. Now, I know that the medical field has adjusted the terms of ADHD and ADD. I don't know what is the correct usage these days, but when I say ADHD, I mean people that are bouncing off walls and can't sit still, which is related to extroverted sensing, and ADD as someone whose mind constantly wanders and they struggle to focus on one topic, which is related to extroverted intuition. If you recall from the They Live clip from my introverted sensing video, one of the subliminal messages was no imagination. And if you include my point about other motives for pushing prescriptions for ADHD I mentioned in my extroverted sensing video, you should be able to see where I'm going with this. Hopefully you're able to put two and two together here. Extroverted intuition is taking what's existing in the present moment and looking into the future of what could be. Those with high NE tend to be the creators, inventors, and catalysts for the future. Introverted intuition asks the question, what's the deeper meaning? Rather than focusing on what is right in front of you, it is focused on the subtext and what lies beneath. What is the underlying root cause, and what will be the end result? Introverted intuition uses convergent and statistical thinking by way of their inner world of insights, symbols, images, dreams, and patterns to formulate aha moments and predict the future. Jung described this as the perception of unconscious psychic data originating in the subject. It is considered foresight or prophetic. It uses the past and present ideas, theories, experiences, etc., and takes the trend of what is happening now and foresees what will happen if we stay on trend, better known to others as forecasting. It is related to the future and what will be. The accuracy of this prediction is very much dependent upon how much external data has been accumulated. If you stay in your little bubble and never go outside to explore and gather more information, interactions, and experiences, your prediction will most likely not come to fruition. This means that introverted intuition is very much dependent upon extroverted sensing. Otherwise, you run the risk of tunnel vision and miss all the other information outside your focus that would change the forecast. This means that INFJs and INTJs need to aspire with their inferior function to become truly prophetic. We use memory to recall the past and make predictions about the future. However, these functions can conflict. Recalling a past experience involves returning to a specific moment in time, but this exact experience will never occur again because the world and observer have changed. Rather, it is often adaptive to focus on aspects of the world that repeat across experiences and are likely to generalize. Encoding individual experiences, episodic memory, and extracting regularities across experiences, statistical learning, require fundamentally different kinds of learning, yet both have been linked to the same brain region, the hippocampus. In this article, it reveals the consequence of this codependence. Predicting what comes next from statistical learning prevents encoding of the current experience into episodic memory. Episodic memory is stored in your introverted sensing function. Thus, the high NI types, INFJ and INTJ, have SI daemon. The daemon slot is the lowest function on your cognitive stack. It is why my memory is shit. So if you tell me your name, expect to have to tell me several times before I will remember it. However, I will recognize your face anywhere. I may not be able to remember from where, but I will know that I know you. Most of my memory is implicit rather than explicit, meaning I need something to provoke the memory from my unconscious because I am unable to consciously and actively retrieve my memories. For example, I can barely remember my childhood. I have a few random events that I can actively recall, but beyond that, it is essentially blank. When my brother died almost 16 years ago, I lost the person that could trigger these memories for me by providing some sort of a totem or reminding me through his own memories. I, however, can remember every single fucking lyric to a song that comes on the radio even though I haven't heard it in a decade. Or when someone triggers a strong emotion in me, I can recall every time I experienced that same emotion in the past, which is why when I am upset and in my demon function, I can tell you everything you have ever done wrong. But on any other day, I will struggle to remember your not-so-great moments. The inverse of this concept is why high SI types, ISTJ and ISFJ, have NI demon. They are more focused on the details of the current events rather than the overall general concepts, and thus their forecasting and seeing the underlying meaning isn't great. They have the opposite challenge than the high NI types. So whether you are in Italy, France, Australia, or America, I see the same fucking thing when I look at these pictures, and see the same future that ESTPs are prepping for, that I mentioned in my extroverted sensing video. It may not be the end of the world, but our version of this world is most certainly coming to an end, and they have been priming you for the new normal for quite some time now. Are your eyes starting to open? Are any of my precious sheep waking up to what is really happening and seeing the underlying meaning of everything? I bet many of you didn't even pay attention to the song being played in the background of the focus clip with Will Smith in my introverted sensing video. He even told you what the name of the song was. If you haven't seen the video, here's a link for you to catch it. The song playing while they were priming their prey was Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones. I recommend you read the lyrics to that song. It will tell you who is behind all the chaos in the world. He is required to tell you what he's going to do. He just doesn't have to spell it out for you or make sure you understand. He likes using music and movies as his medium for telling you what he's doing and what he will do. Biblically speaking, it could be the end of the world, or the end of the age, depending on which translation you are reading. Many of you think the King James Bible is fucking gold, which translates it to the end of the world. Thus, the apocalypse has been changed to mean total destruction of the world. However, the Greek word that was being translated in Matthew 28:20 was aeon, which, according to Strong's Concordance, translates to age. Thus, Jesus said he would be with us until the end of the age, which I believe is the end of the age of Pisces, aka the fish, aka Jesus Christ, and we have entered into the age of the Aquarius, where some foolish New Age believers think it will be a time of love and harmony. Unfortunately for them, it is the false light, aka the angel of light, as we transition from dark to light, and it will be, in fact, the time of the Antichrist. Those New Age believers have been deceived, and or are the deceivers. For my QAnon friends who think from dark to light means we are going from the deep state being in control to the white hats being in control, don't realize the white hats are part of the false light or the false prophet system too. Everything is an illusion, and the Greek word apocalypse actually means revelation, or to uncover, to reveal. The apocalypse will be the revealing of the truth hiding behind all the lies in this world. In Luke 22:10, Jesus told Peter and John that when they go to the city to prepare for Passover, they will meet a man carrying a pitcher of water and to follow him into the house he enters. This house is referring to the houses of the zodiac, and the man with the water pitcher is the house of Aquarius. But I'll dive deeper into that in my video, How to Get Out of the Matrix. I'm still working on this video and may end up being broken into parts. We will see. If you try to hang on to your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake, you will save it.